So I documented a large portion of the population just by documenting in front of this door, because I'd put 32 pictures in the window, and the window pictures would make them famous. And so I would even come home once in a while at 4 o'clock in the morning and be looking at the window because I put 32 pictures on a board, and they'd be sitting there with a lighter, mira, 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 looking for themselves. So this front door is a big part of my life. So I'm really fortunate to have documented a place like the Lower East Side and so many of the Puerto Ricans and later Dominicans. So we spent a year looking for something to buy, and eventually we found this building which was 2 stories. We were living upstairs, but we could survive by making caps and other things. So we were able to keep the art going. I learned over a period of time that my art, for me, was my life. So life is art and art is life. Right here, you have the cap factory. So Elsa used to use all these different machines to make the cap. And we made a lot of caps. And without Elsa, I would be nowhere. And we created the Clayton cap. And the Clayton cap was the first cap to do embroidery going around, to have a signature on the outside, to become a total work of art. And so every time Matt Dillon made a movie, for example, we'd make him a hat. Did a lot of prominent people, made a jacket back for Mick Jagger, did a bunch of things with Supreme. This is my Supreme jacket. I was the president of the Tattoo Society for a number of years because I wanted to document tattoos. I started it first in 1986 with Ari Rusimov. I was interested in the art of tattooing. In New York City at that time, tattooing was illegal, so it was very hard to learn. Being that I was an activist at the time, I knew Catherine Freed, our city council person, spearheaded the legalization of tattooing, and we made tattooing legal in New York. So as the president of the society, you can see some of these designs. These designs in the 80s and early 90s, but now you can see they really become sort of a style that's now tribal, that people sort of follow a look like that.
At first, city officials were not very sympathetic to cries of police brutality during the Sunday morning riot in Tompkins Square Park. But that has changed now that the mayor and police commissioner have seen some home videos of what happened.
My video in 1988 was really the first time that sort of a small independent had a video that became that authoritative and sort of documented something that well. Because I introduced the handheld, consumer available video camera. What I did, anybody could do.
As his camera rolled on.
I was particularly upset with the incident involving the photographer who was taking the home video and who was being forced down from some perch. It seemed to me that what took place there was unnecessary.
So I came out of one hearing and I held up my hands like that and it said dump Koch. The idea of citizen journalism. So that was leading into now where people in the public can be very influential in changing history and the importance of things, because they now could do it with a cell phone, an iPhone, a cheap video camera, with anything possible.
He was just always the man with the camera, and we knew he was a familiar face. And this door was like legendary, so if you got on the door, you was already like a superhero, like when we was kids. we were famous in our own ways as kids, yeah. He's got more pictures, I think, than family members have of their children.
Yeah, some of them probably.
Yeah.